Hi, Verify. Last week we reviewed chapter 5, right? So, chapter 6. So, talent show. Come to an audition for my school musical in the gym right on Saturday, right? So, you don't need a costume. You don't need nothing else. Just bring your voice. Okay, rehearsals. Start in May, and the show will be in September, right? So August, whatever. So a show for songs, musical, right? So, to sing and dance for people to watch and enjoy. You try to perform, right? And when you're good at something, you have the talent. And when you're famous and successful, you are a superstar. Okay, and a real actor stands on the stage, and it's like a test to decide if you're good at something. You're having an audition, and you use this to talk, to sing. You use your voice, and when the time when people practice for a show, it is a rehearsal. Right on page 79, we talk about what a have has been, verb ing. Have has been, verb ing. It means the things has been for a while. So let's check out how long has Susie been watching the show. Susie has been watching the show since it started. She has been dancing since she was 5 years old. She has been watching the show, and she has been taking singing lessons for 3 years. Susie is 16 years old. So how long has she been dancing? She has been dancing since she was 5, so she has been dancing for 11 years, right? So how long has she been taking singing lessons? She has been taking singing lessons for 3 years, which means she has been taking singing lessons since she was 13. Okay, since she was 13. So she hasn't really been going to auditions for very long. That's why she would love to have a chance for the show. She How long has she been practicing? She has been practicing for a long time. But how has she been practicing? She has been practicing in front of the mirror. Okay. Peter and Popsy, the boy and the dog. They have been practicing together for 6 months. They have been singing together since the dog was a puppy, and the boy Peter has been trying to get an audition for a year, and they've been working really hard together. Okay, so when you're ready, let's check out the reader. Tommy, I've been watching you. Why was Tommy late? He was in detention, right? Which means he's a kid getting into troubles all the time. But Miss Baxter, the teacher, still believes. Tommy, I believe you are an intelligent boy. Okay, maybe why not give it a thought about the performing arts school? Ew, performing arts school. It sounds like for ballet dancers. What he doesn't say. What doesn't he say? Ew, performing arts school sounds gay, right? Ew, not interested. But Miss Baxter just explained it's not just ballet dancers, it's also for musicians, singers, okay, dancers, all kinds of dancers, including street dance, which you really feel passionate about, right? So that's why Tommy agreed to give it a try. Okay, he went to the audition. So he didn't know what to do. He was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but the teacher just asked, do you sing? Do you play an instrument? What are you going to perform? So he tried his street dance, okay? And actually, the teacher liked his dance, so He was in. But if he fails any subject, he will have to leave, which means he has to work hard. He has to study. He has to practice hard. Okay. He had a fight with other boys who tried to, I don't know, pick on him. Okay. But they danced it off. They both went to the audition. They both got their parts, and the rehearsals start next semester. So everybody was happy, right? Good, right? Happy means so page 79. Oh no, 83, 83. So, mm, how long has or what have Scarlett and Rufus no sorry. What have Scarlett and Angelo been doing? Scarlett and Angelo are in pains because they've been painting the set. How long have they been painting the set? They've been painting the set for 3 days now. So, they've been learning the script for the Wiz on the weekend. And Scarlett isn't going to the rehearsals. Scarlett hasn't been going to the rehearsals because she's not going to perform. But Angelo has been going to the rehearsals with Angelo's sister. Angelo's sister has been dancing since she was little, and they've been preparing, they've been rehearsing, they've been learning the show, learning the script for the show for Wiz, the Wiz. The Wiz has been playing on Broadway since 1975. It's a musical, okay? It's a musical which won a lot of awards, okay? And how about for Angelo? Angelo has been practicing a song called I'm a Mean Old Lion. But while the children were talking, uh, so um, Hamish just asked, "What have you been doing while they've been busy?" Right? Good. So, um, for page 84, we talk about the backstage crew. It's for the makeup, is for the lighting, is for the costumes, it's for painting the sets, helping the actors practice the line and prepare what to say, right? So if there were not the lighting crew, there won't be the performance. But the point is about the audience. If there were not an audience, there won't be a show, right? Good. So, Shadow Puppet Theater. Shadow Puppet Theater. What is the Shadow Puppet Theater? Shadow Puppet Theater is a traditional show in Java, Indonesia. And how long have the Javanese been making these puppies? They've been making these puppies for over 1,000 years, right? So, what are the puppets made of? The puppets are made of leather. And why are there little holes right on the puppets? They have complicated and unusual hairstyles, but they don't need the costumes. They don't need too much decoration. They're decorated with a lot of little holes on the puppets for the lights to shine through, right? So, what is the set like? The set is simple. It's the set is just a big white sheet of cloth with a strong light behind it to create the shadows, right? And the people who control the puppets just stand backstage behind the cloth, and the audience sits in front of the cloth to see the shadows, okay, to see the show. And what are the shadow puppet theaters for? What is the shadow puppet theater for? People in Java have been using the shadow puppet shows to celebrate festivals and holidays, okay, for thousands of years, right? Of course, they're so unique that in 2003, UNESCO recognized the Indonesian shadow puppet theater as an important performing art. Okay, they need to keep this tradition. Um, So, uh, before we finish the class, of course, we try to review some materials from chapter 5, right? Last week, let's try to review from chapter 5 to chapter 6. Recognize, let's read all of them. Audition, disaster, erupt, rehearsal, audience, shipwreck, protect, festival, and survive. So when a volcano, there can be flying rocks. We know a volcano erupt, right? But it's only one volcano. It's fact. So present simple. When a volcano erupts. Okay, good. So when there's an earthquake, we need to stay under the table. We need to our head. We need to protect our head. Need to stay. Need to protect. So no ed, no verb ing. And mm, we remember from the tsunami, people survived. People didn't die because they had moved to the top of tall buildings. People died. People didn't survive. People were not so lucky because they hadn't had enough time to leave. They hadn't heard the warning. But for animals, most animals, what? They had already run. They had already run away, so they survived, right? Before the warning, right? And all over the world, people just watch one of the worst disasters. Okay, one of, so disasters. Okay, good, right? And I believe the Titanic is one of the most, or maybe just the most, so which means only single one, the most what, famous shipwreck in the world, right? Yes, check out the words from the box. Let's fill in. And about the materials that we just reviewed, come to an for my school musical, come to the to see if you're good for the characters or not, if you're good enough for the show, the test to see if you're good enough for a show. And so we just choose from audition or audience or erupt, right? We use erupt already, so audition or audience. Audition, right? Audition. Great. So Scarlett hasn't been going to the because she's not going to perform. She is not going to perform, which means that she doesn't need to practice. The time when you practice for a show, rehearsal. So more than one rehearsals, right? Good. And of course, the cheered loudly. They clapped their hands after their performance. Those people who watch a show, the crowd, the group to watch a show, the audience. Very good. So, and uh, those people have been using shadow puppet theaters. The people in Java have been using shadow puppet shows to celebrate something like a holiday. Holidays among this chart, I believe it's a festival, right? But remember, it's a holidays. So festivals, okay, festivals. Right. In 2003, UNESCO Indonesian Shadow Puppet Theater as an important performing art. So in 2003, UNESCO recognized, but it's in the past recognized. Okay. Now, can we check out some sentences with mistakes? When the police arrived, the thieves stole the necklace. Remember, the first thing that happened, the first thing happened, had verb PP. The second thing, verb PP verb past. 先发生的用 had verb PP，后发生的用 verb PP verb past。Police arrived, thieves stole. Of course, a thief first, right? So the thieves had stolen the necklace before or when the police arrived. Okay, good. Right. Have you visited the Pacific Ocean before you wrote the book? It's a question to an author. Have you visited the Atlantic Ocean before? So the first thing, visit, right? So had you visited the Pacific Ocean before you wrote the book? Okay, good. Now, there has been an earthquake under the ocean before the tsunami hit. Before the tsunami hit. Before the tsunami later, right? So before the tsunami, of course, so there had been an earthquake under the ocean before the tsunami hit. So it's they, it should be they, I'm so sorry. They haven't heard the warning before the tsunami hit. They, it should be they. Draw a box. Okay, they, it should be they, right? So they haven't heard them. So how do you? They haven't heard the warning before the tsunami hit. Before, so the first thing happened was haven't heard, right? So haven't changed to they hadn't heard the warning before the tsunami hit, right? So what was Rufus doing when Yasmin was listening to music? When? While. When? While. It should be while, right? Okay, good. So been, have has been, verb ing. Where's the mistake? When there's only one event, we use have, has been, verb ing. So, has Angelo been taking singing lessons, right? Has Angelo been taking singing lessons? Great. So, I haven't been watch a lot of TV. Have has been, verb ing. Have has, we have has. Been, we have been. How about verb ing? So I've been watching a lot of TV. Okay, I've been watching. Amazu has killed the frogs when Obi came. When Obi came. So two past events. Two past events. We use had the verb PP, verb ed, verb past. Had a verb PP, had verb ed, verb past. We have verb ed, verb past. So Amazu had killed the frogs, right? So Sally had been dancing for 11 years. Only one event, 只有一件事情 only one event has been verb ing. So Sally has been dancing for 11 years, right? And I've been learning English since 11 years. Oh, have has. Yes. Been. Yes. Learning. Verb ing. Yes. 11 years. For or since, for a period of time. For 11 years, right? Not since 11 years. Great. So now let's use use the tense in the bracket to make a question. Have you practiced the piano many years. We use present perfect progressive. Present perfect progressive means has been verb ing. Has been verb ing. So how do you make the question? How do you make the question? Have has been verb ing. Have you been what? Have you been practicing the piano for many years? Have you been practicing the piano for many years? Okay, try to check out if you're correct. So you have the question. How do you answer? Have you been practicing the piano for many years? Have you? Have you? Yes, I have. I have been practicing the piano for many years. What if you want to answer with no? No, I haven't. Have you? Have you? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. I haven't been practicing the piano for many years. Okay. Have you been practicing? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay. How about past perfect? Past perfect. Had you heard here of Atlantis before you read the story? Past perfect. Past perfect means had verb pp, and the other thing we have two past events. The other thing verb ed verb past. Okay, verb ed verb past. So how do you make the question for had you here Atlantis before you read the story? You have two past events. So the first thing that happened, we use had verb pp. Had you heard of Atlantis before you read the story? It's easy. Well, we make a question with before, right? So had you heard of Atlantis before you read the story? If you answer yes, how do you answer? Had you? Had you? Yes, I had. I had heard of Atlantis before I read the story. How about no? Had you? Had you? No, I hadn't. I hadn't heard of Atlantis before I read the story. Right? Good. Had you heard? Yes, I had. No, I hadn't heard. Okay. Good. How about still past perfect? Had some people leave their homes when the volcano erupted? Leave their homes when the volcano erupted. The two past events. So how do you make a question? Question. When? So had is easy. We just combine the questions to the verbs in the same chunk. So, had any people left their homes when the volcano erupted? Had, yes or no? So, had any people left their homes when the volcano erupted? Let's answer with yes first. Yes, some people had left their homes when the volcano erupted, right? How about no? No. No, no one had left their homes when the volcano erupted, right? So make sure you try to make the question and answer. Make question and then answer. Okay. We had practiced this in the worksheet. If you have any question, check out the worksheet. Okay. How about this? This time we try to combine the sentences. Make the sentence with had verb pp, had verb pp, had verb pp. So 过去完成是你需要两件事情，先发生的用 had verb pp，后发生的用 verb ed verb past。先发生的用 had verb pp，后发生的用 verb ed verb past。所以这边谁先发生，谁后发生？ Verb ed verb past. Okay, good. So, which thing happened first? I didn't feel safe. I didn't buy a disaster kit yet. 应该是还没有买这个东西，所以觉得很不安全 ，right? So how do you make a question? Sentence. I didn't feel or hadn't felt safe. I didn't feel safe, right? Didn't feel safe. Safe because I hadn't bought. So I hadn't bought a disaster kit yet. Okay, disaster kit yet. Right? Good. Let's check out the answer. I didn't feel safe because I hadn't bought a disaster kit yet. Okay. 因为还没有先做这件事情，所以还没有觉得安全。Okay, good. So when she got home, the flood destroyed her house. 应该是她回家之前 flood 就已经摧毁了家园 right? So where do you put had verb PP? Where do you put the verb ED verb past? 先摧毁家园 right? So when she got home, the flood had destroyed her house. Okay, the flood had destroyed. Okay, somebody moved to a new city. Somebody made new friends. 搬到一个新的城市，然后结交了新的朋友。所以到底是先搬到新的城市，还是先交到新的朋友？先交到新的朋友，然后就搬到新的城市，这也太悲伤了嘛 ，right? So I believe it's she had moved to the new city. 先搬到这个新的城市 before she made some new friends, right? So if you have a question, check out the worksheet, check out the book, and of course, if you have a question, you can still send a line message to me. I don't know. So we have a test on Tuesday. Make sure you review everything, and I'll be seeing you on Tuesday. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.